My name is Ellen Bartlett, and I chose to feature Albert Schweitzer for my Thinking Outside the Box presentation. A little bit of background about Albert. He was a humanitarian and a medical missionary. He was born January 14th of 1875. He came from a family that was devoted to religion, music, and education. Both his father and grandfather were ministers, and both grandfathers were talented organists. He came by his talents honestly. He began preaching in Strasbourg in 1899, performed in his father's church at the age of 9, and went on to become an internationally known concert organist. He graduated with a doctorate in philosophy in 1899. In 1905, Albert decided he was going to go to Africa as a medical missionary, so he went to medical school and obtained his medical degree in 1913. Albert married Helene in 1912, and in 1917, Albert and Helene were sent to a French internment camp as prisoners of war during World War I. Once released in 1918, he and Helene spent 6 years in Europe, where he preached, lectured, and gave concerts to raise money to build a larger hospital in Africa. He had already built one hospital in Africa, but decided it was not large enough. He was also a great author and wrote several books during this time. Albert reflected his religious beliefs in everything he did. From his mid-20s forward, Albert devoted his life to helping others, especially the neediest. He truly showed what he was made of through his actions. He studied to become a doctor so he could help the poor in Africa. He built a hospital with his own funds and donations that he raised. He not only helped those in need with physical ailments, he taught the people he lived among how to live and thrive. He helped build buildings and worked side by side with those he served. He was also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. In an interesting journal article by Jennifer Caston, she quoted, "Although he endured serious hardships, such as forced deportation by the French and imprisonment during World War I, Schweitzer spent increasingly long periods of time in his jungle hospital, while nourishing his academic career in theology, philosophy, and music. His efforts culminated in a Nobel Peace Prize in 1952, and he ended his career as an ardent opponent of nuclear engagement, a position rooted in his deep reverence for life of all kinds. He died quietly at the age of 90 in his African hospital." This pretty much sums up the life of Albert Schweitzer in one paragraph. How is my faith reflected in my life plan? I have a strong faith in God and in His Son, Jesus Christ. I am an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I try to be an example of good and do things that my Father in heaven and His Son, Jesus Christ, would have me do. I try to find those who are friendless and be a friend. I try to reach out to those who are sad and lift the burdens of those that I can. I hope that my life will be a legacy to others, that I will be known as someone who did good and helped others along this path we call life. When my children were young, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Unfortunately, one income wasn't enough. I was able to stay at home by teaching preschool, which ended up becoming a full-time job of doing that and daycare for 11 years in our home. I had the privilege of being home for my own children and being a mom to other people's children along the way. While doing so, I attained an associate's degree in early childhood education from Boise State University. I am now working for a nonprofit located in Elk City. I often ask myself, have I done any good in this world today? Have I helped anyone in need? That is my goal in this life. That is my legacy that I hope to leave. To quote Albert Schweitzer, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve.